Hello friends, and welcome to my channel if you're new, or welcome back if you're back. If you are new, hi, my name's Rabbit and my pronouns are they, them, and either way, thank you so much for clicking on my video today. So today's video is kind of like a part 2 to a two-part vlog, though you don't necessarily need to watch part 1 to understand the context. It's just kind of the usual little day in the life, working on my small business production, getting things going, getting things photographed, doing the things that I gotta do. So if that sounds like a good time, I hope you are interested in watching along. I will link part 1 up here and in the description if you're interested in it, but otherwise, let's dive in. I love working in my little craft room, but sometimes I need just a change of pace, I guess. So it's fun to get to move to different areas of the house, whether it's my bedroom or the living room. But today I decided to do my little sewing projects on the couch in the living room, had my tea, got to watch my show on the big screen, because usually I just have it on my little laptop screen, and do my sewing. It was a great time, got to stretch out instead of sit in the chair, and ignore my facial expressions, it was just hard for me to get the needle through some of the felt because of the fabric glue and stuff, but it's fine. It's a good time. Sometimes if you get stuck on work, just changing your environment can help, at least for me. And this was extra helpful also when I took this work outside, because oh my goodness, I don't think it was my patches, I think it was my collars that I did the sewing outside a little bit of, but it was freaking magical and so special. I'm just so happy getting to like look around and snack and listen to the birds and sip my tea and people watch like while I worked. It was absolutely fantastic. But yeah, getting to also just sit in your bed or on your couch instead while you work, a fun time. And I know that like science says you're not supposed to do that because like one place per thing for your brain, but screw it, I like it, it's fine. Hey guys, it's still June 3rd? Well, technically June 4th because it's 2 in the morning, but I just finished my patches and I'm so happy about it because yeah, they're finally done and they look really cute and I'm really happy with them, so I'll give you like a little sneak peek. So yeah, it was a little tough because this morning I had to get Lemon to the vet, and then I had a walk with my mom, and then because I had to wake up early for Lemon, I was like really sleepy, so I had to take a nap, and I was like really determined to finish these patches because I thought they would only take me 1 day, but then they ended up taking me 2 like half days, because yesterday like the first half of the day I was getting supplies, and today the first half of the day I was like hanging out with my mom and then doing stuff with Lemon. So yeah, they did take me 2 like half days, but they're done. They're finally done, and that means tomorrow I can have a catch-up day and do all the stuff that I had on my to-do list that just kept getting pushed back because my goal was to just finish these freaking patches. And one of the things that I've been thinking about is that I don't think deadlines are gonna work for me. I don't think that telling myself, like estimating and like stressing about like how long this will take and how it doesn't, what works for me is having a list of tasks and working through that list, because I get through the list regardless. And whether it takes longer or shorter, like, does not matter in the long run. So I think I need to just, like, give myself permission to, like, not have deadlines and not, like, be like, okay, by this date I'll do this, and because it doesn't help and things get done regardless. So it's fine. I just, yeah, I'm allowing myself that, and I'm gonna see how that works. And if I find that actually for some reason nothing gets done, then we'll talk about deadlines. But for now, no, as much as we can. I should probably go to bed soon, but I'm just gonna like stay up and bask in the good feelings of being productive and done. Before the sun like fully set, I went out and got some lilacs because they're like in bloom right now, and it's just like the best smell ever. They're making my house smell amazing. And when I was outside, it was like thunderstorming, like very lightly in the distance, where you could like hear the thunder and see the lightning, and like all the sunset colors were it felt so good. So yeah, happy times. Happy days. Hope you are also good. I probably shouldn't stay up too late, but I got nothing going on tomorrow morning, so who cares? Can ride out this wave of happy that I'm finished. Okay, talk soon. Okay, hi. It's June 5th, and I am finally getting this task sorted, which is just double checking that all of these are like straight-ish and trimming before I call them finished. So I had a really good day yesterday where I just caught up on a bunch of stuff. I listened to one of my favorite podcasters that I hadn't listened to in a really long time, which is this lady named Dana, who has this podcast called A Slob Comes Clean, and she talks about cleaning and organizing and I find cleaning and organizing really soothing, so it was really great to listen to her and then to get some house projects done that I'd been meaning to get done for a while here. And I was really struggling with this issue that I've been feeling where like I've had these two tasks, which is finish like kind of trimming the edges of all of these and then also trimming and burning the edges of the ribbon on my collars. Those were like my two tasks that I had to complete that I'd been really struggling to complete. And I didn't understand why, and I was like, I feel like yesterday I took the entire day to just like let myself say, this isn't what we're working on. We're not doing work. We're gonna do like all our catch-up stuff and just like give ourselves permission and time to do that. And it was really good because I got to get all these projects off my mind that had been on my mind for a while. Like I was like, I really need to wash the sheets, and I'd been meaning to declutter some like stuff that like really needed to just go and like make some space and like whatever. And yeah, I was very concerned that I was like just using these projects as a way to avoid doing this stuff, which like actually needed to be done. And I was like, why am I avoiding it? And I like was sitting down just now and like really thinking about it and like making myself like be like, okay, you have these two tasks that are ostensibly easy. Cutting things and burning things is not difficult. Like out of the process, these are some of the easier things to do. And like some of them may be less so because I do really struggle with straight lines and stuff like that. So like, yes, it's easy physically, but like mentally it's like a little bit stressful for me. And I was like thinking through that and stuff and then being like, I think it's my perfectionism that's getting in the way. And I was watching a video, like, so I was like, maybe like if I watch a video about it, it'll like get me to feel like more productive and like be able to like work through it or whatever. They're really talking about things just being done and that being better than them being perfect and like progress over perfection. And that helped me really get started because with these patches, I've been really struggling because they're not perfect. They are very much in the style of stencil patches that are occasionally they have like a little bit of bleeding. Occasionally, I'm really bad, like I said, at cutting things, so like they're not gonna be perfectly straight. Some spots are gonna have like this kind of thing and like they're not gonna look the exact same. And it was really, really stressing me out and like making me not wanna touch them, not wanna work on them, not wanna finish them, because I was like, if I keep working on them or whatever and like finish them, then that means they're done, and that means that I have to accept them as they are and put them out as they are. And the idea of that, I don't like it. Cause the edges aren't completely perfect or because like there's like a little bit of bleeding or like whatever. And it's like, okay, that is kind of the style of this kind of thing. And that's all right. People don't need to buy it if they don't like the kind of imperfect stuff. If they don't buy it, that's fine. I can make like more Buffy jackets or whatever. It's no big deal. I'm happy with that. And like just putting it out there is way better than like sitting around and just, I kept being like, oh, I'm gonna start this project or that project. Before I started even doing this, which I'm doing right now, which is cutting the things and doing the ribbons, I made a stack of felt patches. Because I was like, A, that feels more important because this doesn't feel like important. I kept saying, oh, I'll just like wait till I'm like really tired one night and I'll sit down in front of the TV and have just like an easy to do task. Watch some show and just like do some mindless thing. Here's the thing, is I had a couple of those evenings and that is not what I ended up doing. I ended up like cleaning and decluttering and like doing stuff like that because that's what actually like relaxes me. And I figured I'd just do it so it's done and I can stop thinking about it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. And that kind of goes with the website too, because I had like all these other things that like I wanted to also make some capes for my launch and like maybe like some stenciled items like tank tops and maybe some t-shirts and stuff and like personal patches that are like lino cut of like my logo and stuff. And it's like, you know what? That might be a little bit ambitious. I already have a lot of stuff. I have a lot of stuff that I have to take pictures of and list, and I have to like figure out the whole website and whatever. And I have all the time in the world to make capes and stenciled items and more punk jackets and whatever else I want to do. So just giving myself permission to be like, okay, we're not gonna stress out about doing that. We're just going to one step at a time, and even if it's like small progress, it still counts. And just getting myself to do stuff that it's like, what has to be done anyway? And then just do that when I'm feeling like a little bit paralyzed with this perfectionism thing. Because yeah, it's like whether I do it now or tomorrow or next week isn't gonna make it more perfect or better or what, like, I'm gonna have the same tools, I'm gonna be the same me. And if I just do it now, then it's something that I don't have to do later. And I think the thing that really helped me kind of understand that was like yesterday and like sitting and listening to my podcast and like doing all my organizing and stuff, because one of the really key things that Dana talks about in her podcast, A Soul Becomes Clean, is this concept of take it there now. And I know a lot of people are against this and they say that's like inefficient when you're cleaning because it's like more efficient to just like make a bin and like then you deal with the bin and like whatever. But when you take it there now, it's dealt with and it's done and you don't have to think about it again, basically. And I've tried to kind of apply that with my working, where it's like, what needs to be done anyway? What's easy? Take it there now, in the sense, like the same way that like, if I see an elastic band on the floor, here's the thing that I used to do. If I see an elastic band on the floor, I'll be like, huh, I really need to like pick that up. But there's like probably other stuff that I need to pick up too, and you know, I like need to vacuum, so you know what, I'll just like get to it when I vacuum. And then the elastic band just sits on the floor for weeks and weeks and it kind of becomes invisible. Kind of applying that same logic with stuff like that with this, or like my Buffy jacket that like I remember has like 3 stitches that need to be finished on an Anya patch. But I think the reason that I've been terrified to finish it is because finishing it means it's done and means that I have to like move on and like then in this case post it for sale. And that is like really anxiety inducing because of the perfectionism and because of this like fear that like I'll show up and like people will laugh at me or like I won't be good enough or like this or that. And yet I realized that even the way that I've been thinking about this website of being like I have to have all my packaging and all my thank you cards and all my everything sorted out before I can look at my website. Like, yes, it's good to do things one thing at a time and it's good to like think about all the things that need to be done. But sometimes I think that I almost will make the lists instead of just doing the thing. Where Dana on her podcast talks about like just doing the dishes and that like moving the needle. Just cutting the corners of these and being done with it is moving the needle and like allowing me to be finished with it. And also allowing me to say, it's not gonna be perfect because I'm bad at cutting straight lines. But the idea of these isn't that you like put them on directly like this. Like I said, I'm cutting them with pinking shears so you can fold over the edges and it'll fray less. But when edges are folded over, it doesn't really matter if like this is perfectly straight. As long as it's more or less pretty good, you'll be able to do this thing. Sorry, I was talking so long my camera ran out of room. I had to delete a bunch of stuff. Sorry, I don't really know when that cut off. But long story short, done is better than perfect. And it's never gonna be perfect, so just accepting that. And because I was like thinking of all these things like, oh, I'm gonna like iron them and like have all the edges like pre-done for people and like this and that. It's like if you start thinking about every single thing that you can do to make it absolutely everything, that like you're never gonna get it done. So just focus on what actually moves the needle, what actually makes an impact. And also, since I am really stressed about ones that like bled, in my opinion, a little too much, I can sell packs of like B-grade patches, because from far away, like let me show you one. Patches aren't really meant to be seen up close. I mean, it's fine if they are, but from far away, like I think it's fine. I think that like if you look at the face and you're like, oh my gosh, yes, I see the like lumpy little eye thing, but like when people are looking at your jacket, that's not what they're looking at. So I think if it does stress me out, which it does, I can sell packs of B-grade patches, but in the future, just keep my stencils cleaner and make sure that I'm not glopping on the stencil ink too thick, because that is kind of what it comes down to. But also the fact that like you can only really use stencils a limited amount of time without cleaning them between, and at some point they will break, so you know, just accepting that. Cage really wants to get a Cricut, but I really like hand cutting stencils, but I know that it takes forever, and I know that like a Cricut, like it would be good down the line, but ugh, I don't know. Anyway, I had like a list of notes of stuff that I've been thinking about, that I've been wanting to talk about next time that I've been on, so let me chat about that. First, I found my first gray hair, so that's cool. I remember a while ago, Cage and I were like walking outside and he's like, do you have a gray hair? And I was like, and I got so stressed out about it. And he was like, why, like, it's fine if you do. And I was like, oh no, it's a disaster. And then I got home and I like checked and I was like so nervous and I was like, no, I don't, it's fine. And then I was looking yesterday and I was like, oh, I do have one. And you know what? It's fine. I looked it up and it doesn't mean I'm like dying sooner or anything. So, you know, that's life and it's totally cool. I think gray hair, I've always thought gray hair looks cool on other people, but for some reason the idea of it on me like made me super stressed out. there's no need to be stressed out. So yeah, that was funny, just to be like, wow, I am 26 and this is happening. But maybe it's not happening, maybe it's just like the one. But if it is happening, baby, that's okay. That's okay. It doesn't change anything about me. Just means I got a cool Frankenstein streak for now of a singular hair, but it's fine. Okay, next. Prioritizing can sometimes be an issue, but I found that my little trick for that has been little stars. So 3 stars means high priority, I get done those first. 2 stars, medium priority, those are next, and then 1 star, last priority. Because sometimes I'll write out a huge to-do list for the day, and in the past I was like, oh god, like this feels like so much. But then if I just like decide stars on things, then it's all good. And if there's no stars, or like if everything is equally whatever, then I just do the thing that I most want to do at that moment, because it all needs to get done in it anyway, so why not? So that's been good. Yeah, the other thing from A Slob Comes Clean that she was talking about that I think really applies to my projects and stuff was just this idea of like, what step can I take now to move me forward? And like for her, in like terms of cleaning, that's doing the dishes, or like the 5-minute pickup, or, you know, take it there right now. But for me, that's just like figuring out like, okay, I have to get my needle threaded anyway. For instance, when I'm having trouble, the other day when I was having trouble getting started on my patches, one of the tasks that needs to be done anyway is having the needle threaded. So let's just thread the needle. And then it's like, okay, well, that's done. And I need to pick out which ribbon I want to use on like these different ones. Okay, so just do that, and then that task is done, and then it like, sorry, I ran out of battery again. But I guess with that, it goes with like seeing small steps as steps, because I think that's one of the things that I struggle with, is that because something like this doesn't feel like it takes much effort or whatever, it doesn't feel worth doing. But if it has to be done anyway, it's worth doing, and it's worth doing now, so that it just can, like, not be thought about anymore. Same with, like, there's been a smudge on my window that I've been, like, looking at for months and being like, oh my god, I should just, like, clean that. But it's, like, kind of out of the way, so, like, I need to grab a step stool to clean it, and the cleaning supplies isn't in my bedroom, it's, like, in the bathroom, which is, like, a little bit further away, so I have to, like... And today I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna deal with it, because it has to be done anyway, and I can do it, so why not? That's been really helpful, both in life and in this kind of project moving forward. That's been good. Other thing that's been great, oh my god, daily walks. Whoo-hoo. I know that, like, people always talk about how daily walks are so helpful. I was always like, yeah, whatever, I don't have the time, I don't have this or that. No, dude, they're so helpful, like, for real. It's wild, and, like, I think it's, like, extra nice doing it in the springtime, because obviously, like, living in a really cold climate and being like, oh my god, the idea of, like, a daily walk when it's, like, -30 and I'm, like, slipping and falling and it's just, like, awful, like, that is gonna be a challenge. Let's not kid ourselves, but they've been really, really helpful as a way to take a break, and really, really valuable for me, so I'm happy about that. And then, yeah, I guess I talked about this a little bit before, but I don't know if it, like, cut out or not while I was talking about it. This concept of, like, reducing projects, and, like, that being a tip to get more things done, and, like, also recognizing that I need to reduce projects, that, like, sometimes when I look at my to-do list, I'm like, this is not feasible to do for the day, but I am so resistant to reducing, because I'm just like, no, like, this is gonna be the list, and it's like, and I do recognize that not everything will get done on the list, but I do feel really resentful when it doesn't, and regretful, and angry at myself, and, you know, whatever, and it's like, the idea of making smaller goals, though, every time someone suggests that, or, like, I listen to that in a YouTube video or whatever, I'm like, no, I will not make a smaller goal, like, I have to do it perfectly, and if it's not perfect, then it sucks, and it's like, no. I do really, really need to understand that, like, making my goals smaller, like, for instance, not making collars and capes for the launch, just making collars, or not making extra custom jackets, just finishing my little Buffy jacket that I already had, and I, like, needed to add 2 stitches to. That's enough. This, oh man, if my mom's listening to this, I love you, and I really enjoy our time together, and I really don't mean for you to take this personally at all. But my mom and I, we hung out the other day, we, like, went on a nice walk, but one of the things we were talking about, because my dad's very into, like, I don't want to say, like, the end of the world, but, like, a little bit, like, he's like, oh, you know, the climate change, and this is gonna happen, and that's gonna happen, we need a bunker, we need this, and we need that, and recently he bought, like, $200 worth of popcorn, like popping corn, because it never goes bad, and he found, like, hundreds of kilograms of it on an auction site, and, like, yes, it's a good deal, but you are simply one man. Like, you are two people living it. Like, you cannot eat this much popcorn in your lifetime. But, like, because it's a good deal, and because of whatever, then he, like, has to do it. But yeah, so we were talking about, like, this kind of prepper mentality and, like, whatever. Because I'm very much of the idea that, like, if the world comes to that, like, I don't really want to deal with, like, I don't want to be living if living means eating popcorn for every meal and shooting my neighbors. You know what I mean? Like, at that point, just take me out a little bit is kind of my vibe on that. But yeah, talking to my mom, and like, she's very much involved in all the climate change and this and that, and she just, you know, saying that, you know, in 5 years, the world's gonna be done, and like, already, I mean, obviously, with like what's going on in the world right now, and in Gaza, and in the like, things are obviously horrific, both in terms of like the climate and the global population and starvation and war and everything, that it feels extremely like selfish and futile and bad to think about my own, like, to have goals and dreams makes me feel incredibly guilty. And I know this is an incredibly first world problem to have. Like, I assuage that guilt by doing things, by donating, by trying to do what I can. But sometimes it feels so guilty to have dreams of your own, or like 5-year plans or whatever. And also futile when you're like, but the world's gonna end in 5 years and everything. Like, you know what I mean? I'm sorry, I feel like this is getting like such a downer. But like, sometimes that's what it feels like when I talk to certain people that, yeah, have very, I don't know, I guess realistic ideas about the world, but like, it's over, and it makes it really hard to do, I mean, not hard, because I still obviously want to do all my projects and stuff, but it makes me feel extremely guilty for wanting them, and for wanting things for myself, and for not doing more. And even talking about it right now, like, I feel so guilty, and I feel like there's gonna be comments that are like, dude, the privilege, the this, the that. Yes, I completely understand, I completely see that, but I also feel paralyzed, and I also feel helpless, and I also feel like I don't know what to do other than donate and try to help and try to see what's happening at the university and see if they need, you know, whatever, but I don't know. So, sorry for that downer, but that's also been like kind of a stress. And then some stuff that was really helpful for me, that just kind of was some like little revelations that I had the other day re-listening to my podcast with Dana. Oh my gosh, I love her. She's so good. And she has just like so much good advice. And yeah, so some of the tips that have just like absolutely changed my life that I wanted to just like share in case they could change yours too. One of her tips for where to put things is, where would I look for this first? And that is where things live. And that has saved me so much time in looking for things, because even if it doesn't make sense to other people, I keep all my important paperwork and whatever in like kind of a kitchen drawer, and that like doesn't make sense to other people. But if I am looking for like an important paperwork, I am looking in that drawer. So every time I look for things in there, I find them, and it's great. So just like working with your brain and just being like, okay, if I was looking for this is the first place that I would look. It just makes everything so easy to find. The one struggle with that is when you live with someone and your places to look are different, then, you know, I still don't know the solution to that other than communication, but yeah, that's been life-changing. The other thing that I heard yesterday, that I need to implement this, and I need to apologize to Cage, I think, a little bit. She talked about not babysitting the towels. And by that, what I mean is that, like, when you have items in your home that you're like, this is really nice, and I really like how this looks, like this towel, it's so cute, and it's got all these cute Halloween things on it, and yes, it's for drying your hands, but don't dry your hands with stuff on it that are, like, gross on it, or, like, with oil, or, like, with whatever, because then it'll get on the nice towel, and I want to keep the nice towels nice. And then I'm, like, babysitting the towels, which the towels, their purpose is to be used and to dry hands and to whatever, and if you can't do that with them because you're worried about messing them up, then maybe they're the wrong towels for you. So just, like, being like, okay, I'm gonna use these things up, they're gonna get damaged, they're gonna get whatever, and that's fine. That's part of having things that I use. I talked about that a little bit, I think, before with, like, using up perfumes and using up, like, consumable products, but that also, I think, applies to me with stuff that is, like, not consumable, but, like, can get messed up if you use it, and it's like, well, yeah, but if you don't use it, then you're just, like, you have just, like, a shelf of towels that are just living, like, this, like, little pristine, like, museum of towels, that it's like, what's the purpose of that? You know what I mean? So, yeah, I need to tell Cage, do whatever you want with the towels, it's fine. I'm sorry that I've been so precious about them. Because yeah, it doesn't make sense. And like, yeah, we can always get more we have so many. We have so many towels. Like, and this, yeah, this goes with anything, but yeah, just being less precious about things, or just being like, okay, if I'm gonna be this precious about it, then maybe it's not for me. Maybe I can't handle having that, and that's okay. And then the last thing that has been really helpful, that was specifically helpful for me yesterday, was her idea that you can keep anything, but you can't keep everything. Because I struggle so much with like stuff that like is really important to me, and like someone else might not see it as important, or someone else might see it as clutter, but I see all the beautiful uses and all the potential and all the things that you could do, and like, don't you see this as a treasure, and like, oh, it has the story, and like, oh, I picked it up here, and like, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, yes, that's great. But the reality of the space is the reality of the space, and you can keep anything, but just choosing your favorites and keeping those, because like she was talking about, for instance, like having a massive set of like your mother-in-law's really, really fancy dish plates, and they just stress you out because you have this giant set of dish plates. Well, would just keeping one plate keep that memory for you and be more manageable and not feel like the overwhelming giant mess of like, oh my god, I have to keep like every single thing and it has to stay in the set because like she gave it to me as a set? And it's like, no, can you just keep the one and that will provide the same feeling, but like in a calm way? Because when you're keeping that stuff, you're not keeping it hopefully to feel stressed. Like, I don't want to keep stuff that makes me stressed out. I want to keep stuff that makes me happy. So yeah, just allowing myself that and just being like, yeah, whatever I want to keep, that's okay, but it can't be everything. So I'm gonna move on to the collars now. I just wanted to chat a little bit. I've also been keeping a bag of textile recycling right next to my garbage can. So now every time I have like little scraps of thread or fabric that is like too small to use for doll clothes, or like this kind of stuff like I can't really use, but I also feel really guilty throwing it out. But there is textile recycling bins that are close to Lemon's vet, so now I can just like have this go there and they can like make insulation out of it or whatever instead of having it rot away in a landfill. So good for me. Feeling much less guilty about that, because yeah, the little bits of fabric waste that are unavoidable, like this is unavoidable, but it still makes me feel guilty. Alright, so I gotta talk to you for today. I'm gonna move on to my collars, and then after that, I'm gonna work on chokers of two kinds, and then that will be inventory done for now. Hopefully a lot of videos will be coming to. I have so many to film, I have so much to do, so much going forward, but we're gonna take it one thing at a time, and it's okay. And yeah, I've been watching so many videos about ADHD, and I'm, yeah, still deeply, deeply, deeply in denial about it, but it's fine. As long as I'm taking the tips and the tips are helping, that's fine. I am just meeting myself where I am right now. It's a journey. We'll figure it out. For now, I'm taking the tips that apply and help, because some of them don't apply at all. Like the like, start with the easy stuff and leave the hard stuff for last does not work for me, or like give yourself artificial deadlines does not work for me. But stuff like put things in the point where they are easiest to reach, that just seems obvious to me, but apparently it's like, I don't know. See, this is the thing with like, this is one of the reasons that I've been so resistant to it, is because people will say stuff like that where it's like, an ADHD tip is to put everything that you need like right where you need it, and it's like, that's just human life, if it, like, that's just basic logic. Or like, write things down in your planner, have a planner. Yeah, dude, like, that makes, anyway, whatever. We're moving things along. I'm sorry. I feel like also a lot of my audience probably struggles with this, so I really hope that none of my talks about this have been offensive. Okay, we'll talk soon. Bye. Hi! Okay, I'm really happy because Cage is home. It's about 10:30 and he's gonna order vegan burgers for us, so we're gonna have dinner after he has a shower. And I finished my collars that I meant to do today. Not my collars, my chokers. Let me show you them really quick. I only did 5, but I thought that that was like a really reasonable goal, and that was great because I managed to get the 5 done. Drink me, damned. Oh, it's actually here. It's not intentional, but they're like all chokers, but drink me, damned haunted wicked vamp. But yeah, they're fun, hand-painted, kind of just like fun, fancy chokers, because I made one that I've been loving that says vampire on it, and I wanted to make more, so now they're done. It's great, because yeah, Cage is home, and I finished this, and I told myself that when I finish this, I could do what I've been itching to do, which is organize under the couch, and I know that sounds really weird, and like, but I don't know, that's just what my brain decided. Like, I've been wanting to do that today, and I told myself, okay, you can do that, but only after you finish your thing. So I'm gonna do that because yeah, it's been a mess and I think it'll just feel really, really good to have that mess over and done with. So I'm gonna have myself that little reward of organizing under my couch because that's what it is today. And yeah, happy about this. I'm gonna get my next project started tomorrow, and then we're on our way for inventory being completed, and I'm just gonna try to get myself all sorted before I have to leave for Edmonton. But things are in really good shape, I'd say. So yeah, all done, all set, gonna head on out. Also, I don't know how long this will last, but I decided to start keeping a list of my accomplishments for myself because like having a to-do list where like most things are crossed off and like things are kind of messy, it like just feels overwhelming and stuff, but something like this reminds me that I am working towards my goal and I am doing a good job and that it's good to remember things. And that, yeah, so when I start feeling like I'm spiraling and start feeling like I'm not doing anything, that like this isn't gonna work and whatever, I can look at my list of accomplishments, and then writing them down forces me to acknowledge them, because yeah, that's something that I've always struggled with, is like not allowing myself to, yeah, like acknowledge my successes, or like I'm always just like, no, it wasn't really me, like I just got lucky, or like it's whatever. So yeah, forcing myself to write them down, I think is gonna help with that. Okay, so I'm gonna write down the fact that I finished these today. Exciting. Hello friends, it is, I don't even know, I have to leave for Edmonton soon in like a couple days, and I was trying to get all my pictures of stuff like taken, sorry, I like literally just woke up, so I could edit them in Edmonton and like have that whole thing for the videos and stuff. But my mannequin was really dirty, like in the neck area, so I tried to clean it last night so I could take the pictures today, and I think it just made it worse. It has like all this horrible line and stuff on it. So instead of taking pictures today like I wanted, I'm just gonna have to spend a bunch more time trying to clean my mannequin because like all of this crap, and it's really hard because you can't just like take the dress form off and wash it, and it takes forever to dry. So it's a struggle, but that is what's on the agenda today. Try to just get this mannequin sorted so I can take some pictures. I've really been trying to be more organized just in my general life. So this is my first time trying this, but I'm excited to see how it goes. I've made myself little packets of outfits to wear every day, and they have my mask, my earrings, my socks, my underwear, my shirt, my pants, everything that I need for the day. I also have like just a bag of random jewelry, that like bracelets I'll wear with a couple different outfits, or like usually I wear a really thin choker, but sometimes I'll switch it out with this one. Rings, a couple different outfits, stuff like that. I have like my PJs, my sweaters, which will like just be loose because I'm always cold. And hopefully it all works out. I've also done like a meal plan, like a really aesthetic meal plan, and I'd like to try to do that in my everyday life as well. But for now we're just trying this like weekly one, just grocery shopping for the meal plan and nothing more, nothing less. So yeah, we're trying things. We're getting organized. I still have a lot to do and it feels so overwhelming because I have a lot of work to do while I'm away. I'm just trying to prep so I can do all that work, mostly video editing while I'm gone. But yeah, it's stressful. And part of me is like, oh, I should just take the time to chill. But then the other part of me is like, no time to chill. You can chill when your website is up, but until then, no. Which is, I know, not a healthy way to look at it, but the balance. I don't know. I just keep telling myself that I'll relax when everything's done. So, but everything's never done. So, okay. Talk to you guys soon. Okay, so here I am doing my little photographer thing. So I had sprayed down the mannequin with water, so it's stained, but at least it's stained one consistent color. And I think it honestly looks fine in the photos. I had my little lint roller on the way, and Cage's phone, and the ring light, and this sheet that I had found at the thrift store for $2.50 and hung up and ironed. And I think I'm gonna get a curtain rod maybe to put on that section of the wall so I can just leave it up all the time and just swoosh it to the side, because it would be so good as a backdrop for like outfit videos and stuff too. Yeah, super fun. And I have to be honest, I was so anxious to take photos because I am not a photographer. I sucked at media arts class so bad. I've always just wanted to be good at it, but I've always just been horrible at it. So I was really dreading this section, but Cage helped with the presets on his camera, or like on his phone, and he let me borrow his phone, which is like one of the big fancy iPhones with like the 3 cameras on the back, and it took such good pictures. I honestly felt so professional, like a little paparazzo, just sitting there with my ring light and my phone, just like click, It was great. Very, very proud of myself for going ahead and being able to take those photos with confidence, thanks to Cage and his telephone. And then for all the little pictures of my patches and my dolls and all that kind of thing, I took those in the light box. I got this a couple years ago as a present. I think I'd asked for it for Christmas, and it's amazing. I love it. It's collapsible, so it just fits in one of those little kind of like camera tripod type sleeves when I'm not using it, and it lights up everything so nice and bright. And again, I had Cage's trusty rusty phone to help take pictures, because before I had a light box, I would just take a big piece of paper and lean it up against something with some bright lights and do my best, but it really doesn't do the same thing as like having the nice camera, the nice tripod, all the good equipment. And I kind of struggle with that kind of thing because I'm always like, no, I'll figure it out. Like, I don't have to use the nice phone or like get the nice thing. If I do want to buy like some new equipment, I get the cheapest one I can find, or I get it like secondhand, which secondhand I think is still a good idea. But sometimes then things are I've broken or mismanaged or with missing pieces, and then you're like, oh, like, why did I do this? So this was really, really great. I felt professional. Everything went as smoothly, honestly, as it could have gone, and it was just such a relief. I'm not done taking all of my product photos. I still have to do like stuffed animals, and I think my purses again, because I didn't do them with like the pink background, and I want everything to be like really consistent on the website. Anyway, it's a fun time. I'm happy. Cage was an absolute darling for letting me steal his phone for hours on end to take photos and to just fill it up with, pictures of my silly little products. So thank you again to him. He's the bestest. And so that was a great way to end off this little section of the vlog, except for disaster strikes. Okay, so on to the next clip. Hello, I'm in Edmonton. I'm kind of losing, it's not that big of a deal. It's really not that big of a deal. But I had to clear off some files from my computer, and I deleted a bunch of videos that I needed, and now I don't have this footage anymore, and it's freaking annoying, and I can't recover it. And I've just been like sitting here in this Airbnb for the past hour, just like downloading files off the internet that I don't, like applications to recover files that are free, because the easy ones are like $100, and it's like I just need it for like an 8-minute video, and it's so freaking annoying. And I just needed to rant and say, I hate technology so much, and I hate deleting things that I didn't mean to delete, and this happens so rarely, but when it does, it's the worst. That's life. Okay, happy news. I was able to find the file. Okay, so one of my things that I always kind of complain about with my computer and storage system is that like it's really hard to free up space, because every time I delete a file, it never like fully deletes it, because there's like a copy of it in like 300 million places, and you have to like track them all down to like actually delete everything and actually free up space. And usually that's super annoying, but occasionally that comes in super handy, like in this case when I was able to recover the files. And yeah, in the end it was truly like 15 minutes of footage, but it was the before and after of reorganizing my entire craft room, and it was the before. So I couldn't like put everything back together of like the before, and so I was like, it's like fine, but it's also like super annoying, and I could try to like kind of improvise this and like put it back together and be like, hey guys, like this is kind of fake and like staged, but like imagine this is the before, and we'll go through the, like it was just gonna be a bit of a pain. So I'm so happy that it's all sorted. I didn't have to pay $110 for disk drive or disk drill or whatever the F I was looking at, and I didn't have to like learn all the computer coding language, because oh my gosh, like barely taking iPhone photos stresses me out. Could you imagine like trying to learn the RFI, like goodbye. So yeah, happy, we're set, we're sorted, crisis averted. I'm so happy. That actually happened today when I'm filming this, which is like June 20th, I think. So yeah, super last minute. I truly was just gonna be like, well, it's fine, that is what it is, but happiness prevails. Anyway, thank you again for watching this video, especially till the end. Feel free to check out all my other vloggy, small business diary type videos. I'll have them linked below in like a little playlist you can check out. Thank you again for your support and watching till the end, and I hope to catch you in the next one. So till then, bye for now, take care of yourself, and give yourself a big hug for me. I'll catch you later. Bye!